Okay, so there's a quiet war happening right now that's about to completely change how we all find jobs. And while everyone's been watching OpenAI, Google has been silently rolling out a tool that is a potential game changer. Let's break down what's happening and what it means for you.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into this AI recruitment battle between the tech giants. Then, we're going to peek under the hood of Google's new system, Career Dreamer. We'll also decode the new language it speaks, called Lightcast, figure out why this changes absolutely everything, and then wrap up with a solid action plan to get you ready for 2026.
All right, let's set the stage. What we're seeing isn't just a couple of new features. This is a massive, fundamental battle for the future of job matching itself. The old rules are being thrown out the window.
Now check out the timing here, because this is the key. Back in September 2025, OpenAI makes this huge splash, right? They announced their own job platform, and the whole industry, all eyes, turned to them. But while everyone was looking one way, Google was playing chess. They were quietly testing and then integrating their own tool, Career Dreamer, right into their main interface. It was a classic magician's trick. Look over here while the real action is happening somewhere else.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter. The end goal for these tech giants isn't just about slightly better job search. It's to shift the entire concept of hiring away from job titles and resumes to a system that is 100% based on skills. This isn't an update, it's a total paradigm shift.
So, you're probably wondering, how does this new weapon of Google's actually work? Let's dive in and take a look inside the Career Dreamer engine.
Okay, so the system basically has two different lanes. Path 1 is the straightforward one. Let's say your career path is a senior accountant. The system sees that, it's a perfect match in its database, and boom, you're sent straight to Google for jobs. Easy. But path 2, that's where the real magic is. If you're looking for something more unique, like a data analyst who specializes in marketing, Google's AI, Gemini, actually steps in to create a custom match just for you. And this is the part you really gotta get. When Gemini gets involved, it is not just scanning for keywords like the old systems did. No way. It's being fed this highly structured piece of code that literally maps very specific skills to different levels of experience. So the AI doesn't just see the word Excel, it understands the difference between beginner and expert. It's a much, much deeper analysis.
So I've mentioned this database, this special language Google is using. Well, it's time we talked about it. It's called Lightcast, and you really need to start thinking of it as the new Rosetta Stone for the entire recruitment world.
So what exactly is it? Well, the Lightcast taxonomy is basically Google's official dictionary for jobs. It's the one standardized dataset of job titles, skills, and occupations that it's now using to understand and categorize every single job. This is the framework. It's the new law of the land for how job data works on Google, period.
And this is where the rubber really meets the road for anyone in this industry. If you run a job board, you need to be plugging into the Lightcast system. If you're a recruiter, you have to make sure your job titles and the skills you list line up perfectly with what's in that Lightcast dataset. Why? It's simple. If you're not speaking Google's new language, your jobs are not going to get seen. Okay, so we know how it all works. But what if you just ignore it? Let's talk about the very real consequences of doing nothing as we head into 2026.
Well, here is the big prediction. By 2026, it's expected that Google's going to take the next logical step. They'll let people upload their resumes, their CVs directly, and the system will match their skills to jobs automatically. Just think about that. It would completely bypass the traditional job search and application process we all know.
And that leads us to this pretty stark warning. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than this. If the way you describe jobs, your taxonomy, doesn't align with Lightcast, you risk becoming invisible. Your jobs, your candidates, your entire company, you could literally just disappear from the conversation that Google is now in charge of.
All right, I know that sounds a little dire. The idea of disappearing isn't great, but look, it is not hopeless. The good news is there is a clear plan, a path to get ahead of this. So let's walk through your action plan to make sure you stay visible in this new skills-based world.
It really boils down to two key technical moves. First, the code that's behind your job postings. It's called the job posting schema. It has to be upgraded. And second, you've got to actively go through your job descriptions and map the skills and responsibilities to the exact terms that Lightcast uses. You're basically just translating your jobs into the language that Google now understands.
And so, that brings us to the one big question you should be asking yourself. This skills-based future isn't some far-off theory anymore. It's here. It's happening right now, quietly but very quickly. So the only question left is,
Are you ready for it?